Hey Crosswatchers for Cancer, welcome to your November cross-watching video. This video is being done in the spirit of asking for whatever is going to bring about healing and be in the best and highest good of everyone involved. It's being done from the view or what the cross-watcher needs to know. It is not in a first-person Cancer kind of view. It's what the person dealing with the Cancer needs to know. Keep in mind, these are still general readings. They may resonate, they may not. So we're going to see what is coming up for those of you dealing with a Cancer for the month of November. I'm using an oldie but a goodie here in terms of deck. Sadly, it is discontinued. 4, 5. But I like this deck because it kind of helps go into like the deeper layers. Like if we're trying to like analyze a situation, I think this deck is really good for that. So we have here express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Now, Crosswatcher, I want you to be careful with this message. Okay? Somebody might see this and say, oh my goodness, okay, so this is it. I'm going to go and tell this person, you know, like, especially if, like, you've been waiting to hear from someone, or if you've had, like, this, like, friends, but are we more than friends kind of energy. Like, you might be like, oh my goodness, okay, then this means I have to go tell this person I'm in love with them, right? Not necessarily, okay? It's going to be different for different ones of you. And you have to go with what your gut is telling you about that, or what your gut is telling you about what you want to tell this person. But the overall message from this card, Crosswatcher, is that Cancer may be unsure of where they stand with you or what they're looking for, or like what you're looking for, or you know, what you're feeling about the situation. So express your love doesn't necessarily mean you got to go and like pour it all out there, unless you feel comfortable enough doing that, and unless you're willing to take the risk of that Cancer saying, I don't feel as strongly. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case for each of you, but it could be. This is a general reading, so unless you feel really confident to do that, I wouldn't go laying it all out on the table. But what this card is saying, it may be up to you, Crosswatcher, to kind of take the initiative here with Cancer in November. You might feel like you tend to have to be the one to, you know, make the contact, or make plans, or, you know, try to get together, or, you know, express interest in ways in which you feel comfortable expressing interest, right? Maybe you're okay with just texting somebody and saying, hey, it would be great to get together, versus I have feelings for you, or I'm in love with you. Like, that might be way too much for some of you, right? So you know the situation, you know where things lie. I would say trust your gut and trust your instinct with how much you're willing to open up to this person, and how much you're willing to tell them. Those of you where you're in a relationship with this person, you all have been together for a while, Cancer may be going through some low self-esteem. They may be pulling away. They may just kind of be projecting on you how they feel about themselves. Like, if they're not feeling good about them, or if they're feeling down, they may be looking at you like, oh, you know, Crosswatcher wants to leave me. Crosswatcher isn't happy in this relationship. Crosswatcher would be so much happier with somebody else. Like, they may be really down on themselves right now, and so they might be quiet, or they might be distant. So those of you in a relationship with a Cancer, it may not be a bad idea to give them some reassurance and let them know that you're still here, that you're still interested, that, you know, they still do it for you, you know, so to speak. This is a general reading, and you guys are all in different places in terms of where you are with this person, what kind of relationship it is. So the energy is going to apply in different ways, and that's why I try to go over the different scenarios, or the different ways in which it may apply. But that's definitely something that's coming up for you guys, and something for you to know is that you might feel like you have to be the one to take the lead. For some of you, I am hearing, and Crosswatcher, don't get mad at me, some of you are gonna like come at me in the comments, I know this. But some of you, I feel this is about an apology, where there's some kind of tension, and you might feel like, I shouldn't have to apologize, or I didn't do anything wrong. But you know, you might be in a situation where getting past something or getting over some kind of little bump here in the road is going to be up to you taking that step. It's going to be up to you coming in and being like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry for this, or I'm sorry for that, and I still want to work this out. So for some of you, there could be issues of pride, right? And it could be very frustrating for you if you're dealing with a prideful Cancer. You might feel like, oh, well, no, Cancer's the one with the pride. Cancer's the one that should apologize, or Cancer's the one who should make the first move here. But this card is saying, Crosswatcher, that if you want this relationship, you may have to be the one to be taking that initiative or making that apology. And if that doesn't resonate with you, if something in your gut is telling you, no way, that's not good for my situation, then I'm going to say go ahead and listen to that. But at the same time, meditate and ask your angels and guides to help you to see if there's something that you're missing, if there's something in your viewpoint that could be adjusted. You know, how much of this is your intuition telling you, no, absolutely do not apologize, and how much of this is your own pride? You know, if you're willing to do that kind of soul searching, it may not be a bad idea for some of you where there's some kind of friction or tension or some kind of elephant in the room, so to speak. So next here, my darlings, we have getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So obviously for some of you, this is a new relationship. Obviously for some of you, this is a relationship with a newer person, or maybe you all haven't been together that long. And if that's the situation, if that's the scenario, this card is letting you know this person's trying to take it slow. Right? Like, look, as they're kind of talking here, you know, they seem to be really kind of, you know, into each other, but there's this chaperone here kind of like, you know, watching over. So they're not really having alone time. They're not really, you know, jumping into bed. They're not really in a position where, you know, things are getting all hot and bothered, right? So if you're used to that kind of a situation, Crosswatcher, understand and know this may be a relationship where this person is being cautious. Either they've been hurt before, and so they're wanting to take it slow in that way, or they've been in situations where they've had like really hot and heavy connections and they haven't made good decisions because they were thinking with below the belt, and they might be very cautious in that way. And they're like, hey, look, this time around, I want to be sure I really know this person, and I want to make sure it's a compatible situation before I go getting all invested and all, you know, caught up in it. For other ones of you, where there's a situation where you've been with this person for a while, I feel like you're discovering new layers of one another, or your Cancer might be going through a lot of growth. They might be going through a lot of soul changes. They may be releasing a lot of old attachments, old ways of thinking, and they might be going through some of them, some sadness even. And so it's kind of like you're having to get to know each other all over again, or getting to know a new aspect or a new side of them. And so this is going to require some patience, and this is not going to be an overnight process. Okay? There's kind of like getting to know this new version of Cancer. Cancer is changing, right? Even if you are in a new situation with this Cancer and you don't really know this person, you're just getting to know them now, it's still fresh and new, your Cancer feels like they've changed a lot and they're going through these changes. So that might be one of the reasons why, again, it's just maybe taking it slower to really get to know one another. So you might be feeling, oh, maybe they're not into me, maybe they don't think I'm cute. Crosswatcher, don't get all beat up about it. Don't get all, like, don't start feeling all bad about yourself. You're still cute. You still have it. You still got it. This person is just trying to be respectful and making sure that they can really get to know the real you. Okay, I feel like there's been in a lot of the readings that I was doing earlier in the year, and even up until recently, the past few months, there's been a lot of like passion energy, like go, go, go energy, like really like hot, steamy energy for some of the signs. And so some of you may have had something very intense, or you may have had these very intense relationships, and now you've come into this one and it might not be as intense or hot or heavy or steamy. And that might be exactly what you need right now. Hot and steamy might be great, but a lot of the times it leads to heartache, right? And so I just think Cancer doesn't want to get hurt. I think you don't want to get hurt. So you're going to go a little bit slow here in getting to know each other, or getting a clean slate with one another, if that's the case for some of you. So next we have here new love, okay? A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So for some of you, this is a new love, okay? This is a newer person who's come in, and this is kind of confirming for you that the relationship is going to progress and to move forward. For other ones of you, if you're in this starting over thing, or if you're in this energy where you're feeling like, Cancer is changing, you might be faced with a decision. You might have somebody new coming in where you're trying to decide if you want to be with this person. This can also be a message to you letting you know that your Cancer has started over again, or become a new person. Like they're new. They've turned over some new leaf. They've made some changes. They're in a new energy. They're a whole new different person. Okay? So for some of you, this is the message. You're going to have to be patient. Even if you've known this person for a while, you are getting to know them back from square one, because they've gone through so much changes and they're releasing so much conditioning, and it's like, I don't even know this person anymore, right? Like, this is a whole new person. So for some of you, it's going to apply in that way. For those of you where you full on are dealing with a new person, and this person is a Cancer, and this is a new love for you, this card is letting you know that this is you are in this new level of learning to kind of be put on a pedestal, or learning to be respected, right? This Cancer might be looking at you and feeling that in some ways you are above them, or in some ways like they have to earn, or they have to show their value to you in some way. See how he's kneeling by her with this rose? And I feel for some of you, I'm not sure why, because she's not exactly dressed in a super duper fancy way, but something about this card is making me feel like you're dealing with a Cancer where there's an issue in terms of class, and economic status. So maybe you come from an environment where, your parents or your family or your friends, maybe they're a little bit more, well-to-do than this Cancer, and they might be feeling a little bit intimidated by that. Or maybe Cancer comes from a family, or has family that had a lot of money or did really well for themselves, and they're feeling kind of like, oh, but am I keeping up? Am I making as much as my parents did? Am I making as much as my brother does, or my sister, or my best friend, or whatever? They might be feeling in some ways that they don't have enough to offer you materially, okay? I don't know why, but I'm feeling that sense in some way. But overall, for this new person, for a lot of you, I feel like this is an energetic exchange or a contract that you all have for you to learn to be pursued in a different way, in a respectful way. It's kind of confirming the whole thing about how this person's not rushing to get you into bed. This person's not rushing to sext you and send you all kinds of nudie pics and things like that. They're really wanting this to be real and sincere and even romantic. So this is a way that you're learning to be respected, right? Or they're not looking at you for money, right? See how she's just kind of looking at him. She's giving him respect. She's giving him her attention. She's holding herself in this way where she's all cute and stuff, with her little apples or whatever that is there. But what is that? What does she have in her basket? Or flowers, or no, is that a chicken? What is that? She's got chickens in her basket. So, you know, with our little chicken here, that would maybe indicate some affluence, right? Like back in the day, you know, maybe people weren't off going to the market and getting chickens. But anyway, like she is giving him her attention. He's giving her this rose and she's happy about it. You know, she's not looking at it like, ugh, give me a gold watch or give me a diamond ring. She's like, oh, a flower for me, right? So it's like learning to appreciate those simple things. And, you know, he's like this knight here. So like he's valiant, he's brave. Like she's very impressed with that about him. So I kind of feel for a lot of you, this is a relationship that's teaching both of you to get all of that nonsense out of your head about status and material things and sex and how much somebody spends on you and like all this kind of thing. Like you're learning real connection here. I think a lot of you are dealing with a Cancer where you have this contract with one another to learn real connection. Your next card here is codependency. Okay. So as you're going into this connection, my darlings, it might bring up situations of codependency, or it might be that the reason why this person is going so slow with you is they may be coming out of a time of addictions or codependent relationships. Okay, when you're in a codependent relationship, there's a lot of dysfunction. There's a lot of like not being able to be yourself and having to edit yourself for the other person. And sometimes what I see in codependent relationships, it's two people that it's like they kind of take turns being in control. They kind of take turns, I don't know if I want to say bullying each other, but you know, there's just a lot of like not being able to be in a healthy give and take, or one person's constantly giving and the other person's constantly taking, or you know, they don't know who they are without one another. And so this is, again, I keep getting the sense of turning over a new leaf, a fresh start. So if this is an existing relationship, this is what you all are working through to save this relationship. You're trying to come out of codependency. For those of you that this is a new relationship, as a part of your contract, both of you might be working in this new relationship for it not to be a codependent one. So, Crosswatcher, I think for those of you that you're feeling kind of like there's a lot in this video that's resonating with you, or there's just certain aspects that are speaking to you, I would encourage you to maybe read up about codependency. Maybe do a Google search, maybe try to find a self-help book or something that jumps out at you and you say, oh, this might be a good thing for me to read, because you might have codependent past in relationships and you don't even know it. You might be like, hey, why don't my relationships work out? It could be because of codependency, but you didn't know that. So this could be a really great way that you can empower yourself for ensuring that this relationship can work or heal or last. If your person has an addiction, or if you have an addiction, understand and know this: nobody can cure that. Nobody is responsible for somebody else's addiction. Sometimes codependency comes in the way where you think, if I am absolutely, positively the most perfect partner in the world, the most perfect friend, the most perfect parent, whatever the case, you know, then this person won't use. Then this person won't have a relapse. That's not the case. It's not on your shoulders. It's not on your shoulders. So you might have to do some reading or research to figure out what's a better way to be there for someone who's struggling with some kind of addiction or some kind of a codependency, where you can be there for that person and maybe hold space for them in that time, but at the same time not be taking it on your shoulders and not be carrying the burden as if it's your fault if they make the changes or they don't make the changes, because it's not your fault, right? So I think it might be a good idea for those of you who've, you know, been watching this video to really kind of read up on codependency and better understand what it is, what it looks like in a relationship, and how to make changes so that you're not in codependent patterns, so that your relationships can work and they can be long lasting and they can be satisfying and fulfilling. Next here, forgiving and learning. So we have here As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So for a lot of you, definitely this is a relationship with a person where you're coming into this energy of getting a new start, getting a new getting over some hurdle. I said in the beginning, for some of you, I kind of felt like it was going to be up to you to take the first step in terms of some kind of an apology or forgiving. And so I think for those of you that do, your Cancer might realize that, hey, you know what? I'm no angel here in this situation either. And it could kind of move them or motivate them to own up to their part of it, okay? And just kind of try to start over here. And I also feel for some of you where this is a newer relationship, this might be getting over past hurts. You might find yourself, especially because I have to tell you, we're ending, this is for November, right? But we're ending October with that new moon in Scorpio that's going to be bringing up a lot of chaotic energy. Even though it's a new moon, it's not a full moon, there's going to be a lot of releasing that's happening. And a lot of everybody's got crazy in them. We've all got it, Everybody's got our little crazies, our little insecurities in us. They're going to be coming to the surface in this Scorpio new moon for a lot of people. And then when we get into the Taurus, the full moon, in November, which I believe is in Taurus, it's going to be bringing a lot of people into what can I do to make my life more stable, or what can I do to improve my relationships. And so a part of that, my darlings, what you're going to have happening is that you're going to have this energy here with this person where you're kind of going over your past mistakes or your past hurts or your past betrayals may be coming to the surface. And you might be very tempted to unload that baggage onto this new relationship. And so this card is saying that you need to work to release that. Don't come unloading it on Cancer because it's not their fault, right? Or even if you're dealing, there might be things that are making you remember the past. And so that past, or the people from your past, you might have to go through some kind of emotional inventory and do some cleansing and releasing. For some of you, this isn't even about relationships. It's just, or your own relationships. It could just be things where you didn't have stability in your childhood, or you didn't have positive experiences in terms of love, or just kind of whatever. It could be things with your parents. But as you're forgiving and releasing all that old baggage, this relationship is going to be able to progress. This relationship is going to be able to be a prosperous one. Okay, my dears? So again, these are general readings. They may resonate, they may not. If you know your person's Venus sign, because if you're looking in terms of a love situation, it could be helpful to watch their Venus sign Crosswatcher video as well. And don't forget, guys, in a couple of days, I'm going to have the love videos up. And that video will be for the first person energy, the first person view. Okay? So more what's going on with them and how they're seeing things and their experiences. So you're more than welcome to watch the love video for Cancer for November when that's up. When it is up, I will have the November readings listed in a playlist and a link in the description. In the meantime, if you'd like a private reading, please be sure to click on the Calendly link and schedule there. You can see all the readings I offer, the prices, the next available. Every question you have, you can find there on Calendly to go ahead and schedule a private reading with me. I thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I am wishing you a fabulous week, my darlings. A fabulous month, I should say. A fabulous November. Take care.